Hello everyone and welcome back to Evi Turquesa Dot, and I am back for one of my new Evi Create series, and this time is an art journaling as I said in my title. So this is the color that I've used. It's a Martha Stewart Rose Gold. That's what I've used for covering my art journal background, and this is a very thin paper. So before I did that I had to cover it with a clear gesso, and this one's from Prima. So I covered that with the gesso first and clear gesso and then the paint. And then these are the stamps that I've selected to create some type of texture in my background. And they're old stamps that I've had for a while. I love my script stamps, like different types of fonts. And then some texture with a crackle effect, because you'll see later that I'm going to tie it in with something that I'm planning to use. So I'm going to use some archival ink to start inking up my block stamps and start playing around to see what comes out of this blank page that now it's rose gold. So we'll see. Again, this is a really thin paper, so I don't want to risk making anything too bulky on this type of sketchbook, because it won't hold it well. But I do want to finish it because it's an old sketchbook that I've been working for a while, and I've turned it into an art journal little by little. So now, after doing that first script, I added that second one and then the crackle effect, and this is what it's looking like. I fast forwarded some of the sections here so that you wouldn't have to wait for me to do the whole thing, and I was having some camera issues. But this is another set that I decided to go back and get to add more of an interest on my background. This is a set that was sent to me by a friend a while back, and so I'm planning to use some of the stamps on this set to create more texture on that background. I'm still using that same color ink and just adding more things to my background. Now I go back in and select another one, which is the one with the circles, and you'll see me adding more of it. And again, I'm sorry that part of it is out of frame, but I was having issues with my camera today. I went back and got another type of script stamp to add more texture to that background. I just wanted to layer up different things on that background, just create something interesting and layered as that background for the page. So this is what it looks like now after I've added all of those different stamps in the same type of ink all over my background. And now I move on to adding some stenciling. So I'm using this DecoArt Media. It's a modeling paste, and it's a very thin modeling paste. So that's why I've decided to use it, because I don't want to add anything too bulky or thick to my pages, because they'll buckle the page after. So this is a stencil that was given to me by one of the ladies that comes to my workshops on Friday. She came over and brought me that one as a gift. So I wanted to play with it, and that's the whole reason behind playing with this whole page. And that other one is an DecoArt Andy Skinner stencil that I've had in my stash since I got my package a while back. So I decided to play with that one too. And I'm just randomly adding some of those to the background. So you'll see me adding little bits here and there and just playing around to see what comes out, because I have nothing really planned. All I knew was that I wanted to use my mixed media effect, and I wanted to use that stencil, and I wanted to create some type of texture in the background with stamps, and that's about all I had planned. Now I decided to use this metallic luster, also from DecoArt. I haven't used them in a while, so I decided to go get some of those to color that modeling paste. And I'm going to be using this cotton swab. I'm using the one that's not as frayed, the one that's cleaner, and I'm just dabbing on some of that paint with a little bit of water to dilute it. And I start very shyly by just using browns here and there and lightly adding it, and then I get a little bit more aggressive and darker in my browns. and just covering all of the areas. And then I add my green to all of the crackled effect stencil that I had done. And I liked how it looked a lot more than the brown because it was blending too much. So I decided to go back over my brown and cover it with the green. And now you see what it ended up looking like after I've added that metallic luster to all of the stenciling. And these are the first few layers. So that's where I stopped, and that was actually yesterday. And now I have to think and feel what else I want to add to the page after I've done this first few steps to it. Now I have a background, I have something layered to work on, and I decided to grab a stack that I haven't used in a long time. It's an old stack. It's a Serenity stack from DCWV, and I found a paper here that I wanted to fussy cut. So I've selected this one here, and I'm going to cut all those flowers out of it. And you'll see that I've already done that before I started filming again, just so you didn't have to wait for all that. And I've already placed them on the page to kind of like plan out where I want to add them. So I'll just add those with some gel medium. And the one I'm going to be using is this one here by Liquitex. And yeah, I'm going to try to fast forward this part because you guys all know how that goes. You just put some gel medium on the back and some on the page. I really had to go back and forth and play with that a little bit on some of them because they were over the stenciling part, and it was harder to get them flat on the page and to grab well, so I had to keep on going back and forth. And I was debating whether I wanted to cover my flowers with a matte medium or not, because they had some foil on them and I didn't know how they would look after I added it. But I was having so many issues trying to have it all stay down without like ruining the delicate stem on them, that I just decided to just go ahead and cover the whole thing with a gel on top of it too. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I forgot to add, now that as you're looking at me doing this part here, for some reason I forgot to record, not to record because I did record it, I think I lost the footage, but as you can see on the border of my page, I have some leaves that look like they're on a stencil, and they're actually leftovers from some die cuts that I did from a Sizzix die for a fall card that I did a while back, and I had them here, so I decided to grab one of those and use that as a stencil. And I added all of those leaves all the way around to frame my 2 pages, the whole spread. And for that I used some dye ink from Ranger, the ones that Betsy had sent a while back from Tuesday Morning. And they're really, really nice. I really like how they're working. So for that one I used a red, an orange, and a brown. I don't really know the colors right now from the top of my head. I had recorded them and showed them, but I guess I didn't save the footage when I was recording that and going back and forth to deal with like the kids today. But that's what you see on the border of the page. Yeah, so I basically kept on going and gluing the whole thing down. And once I had everything down with my gel medium and in place, then I had to decide whether I wanted to add journaling or some other embellishments. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking of things that I've like passed by as I was cleaning up and organizing. And oops, I hit the camera right there. And this is like 20 times the speed, so it took me a while to like glue down everything gently so they wouldn't break. So I'm sorry if it's a little bit long on this part here, and I hope you don't mind me talking. I'm still waiting for my hubby to record some more music for me, because I used to have a recording from him on my other computer, but the computer died, so I lost that, and I have to figure out how to get that. And this is a new iMovie that I haven't worked with. The one that I had was like 8 years old or more. So this is a new version, and I'm still learning it. So I hope everything works out, like the recording and everything. But yeah, this is how the 2 pages look now that I have the flowers glued down. And I decided to take this little set of butterflies that were also a gift. And I think it was Marla that sent them to me. But anyways, thanks to all of you who think of me and like get stuff that you know that I might be able to use in my projects, because eventually I get to them, and I end up using them in some type of project or in the actual workshops and classes that I give. I either share them with the people that come here, or I end up using them in my projects. So I thank you so much for thinking of me. So I've decided to just like randomly add them flying among the flowers, facing in different directions. I'm taking a little bit of time because I'm adding some gel medium to the back of the puffy sticker that's on the back of them, just to make sure that they stick well to the page and to the acrylic paint and all of that. So that's why it took me a little bit longer to set them down on the page. Yeah, so I went all out with all of my butterflies. It's filled with beautiful butterflies flying all around in those beautiful fall colors, which you know how I love my browns and my coppers and my golds and all of those metallics. And this page is like very me, but different. So I hope, right? So I ended up using all of the butterflies on the package. So yay! One package down from my stash and used on a beautiful spread that I can keep forever. And now I have to decide whether I want to add journaling or not. So I'm deciding on the title as I'm looking at the pages, and I take a little while, and then I come back, and after several trials of like writing it out and stamping it out, and I ended up with those sections that you see over there. But before I did that, I added some of these micro beads, and I don't think I'll ever add micro beads to my art journal again, because I'm used to doing them on projects and working in a tray, but to add them to the journal was like crazy. But once I had started, I decided that I had to finish it. So I just added little centers to the flowers with those two colors that I showed, and just add a little bead of glue to the center of them, and then drop my micro beads onto my journal, and had to like wait for it to dry and then drip them down. It was a mess, but it looks really pretty. So after finishing with that, I went in with my Faber-Castells, and this is the brush pen, just to finish off the butterfly edges, because some of the white was showing and it was really bothering me. And so I decided to go over all of those outlines with that brown Faber-Castell. It's one of the Pitt brush pens, so that's what you're looking at right now. I'm just going over all of the edges as much as I can see, and I'll probably keep on going back as they dry and need more, but that's basically what I did to the butterflies to finish them. And there's some little teeny tiny dots that are like marking like their flight pattern, but they're blending with the background, so they're there, but they're like kind of hidden, so you have to really look to find them. And I think I forgot to shoot some close-ups and some just pull it in enough for you guys to see all of those details, but you get the idea of the page. So then I went back to that Micron pen in a brown, because I decided that I wanted to try the outlining of the actual flowers, just to have them blend with the page better, and just to try something more mixed media-ish with my page, more journaling style. And yeah, just some doodling touch to them. So I'm just adding the line to the bottom of the leaves, and then to both sides of the stem, and to the bottom of the flower. So I fast forward this part, but it's still a long part because they were intricate. So that's what you're looking at right now. I'm just going over all of those edges with that same pen, and going over that bottom part of the leaf and then the stem. But yeah, I I think I might be able to keep on doing some more of these process videos. I hope you're liking them. Let me know if if you like a combination of these and then the ones that I share that are already made, which are way faster to film and share on my YouTube. These take longer, but with a new computer, I'm able to film it as I'm creating them, and I can edit them. It takes a while to edit and everything, but at least you guys get to see the process if you're interested. But I would really like to know if you're liking this, and hopefully at some point I'm going to be able to add some music to the parts that are fast forward, and you're not going to have to hear all of my talking over my work. But yeah, it's easier for me to talk on a voiceover than it is when I'm working, because if I talk while I'm working, then I get distracted, and that's when I make like all of the little oops and boops and whatever. But yeah, this way I just get to film as I'm doing everything, and I can have all of the interruptions that can happen in the house that happen normally, and I can get up and do everything that I have to do, and then I just come back and edit the sections as I can when I have the time. Even though that even though I have like little mishaps, like not being able to add the edge of the leaves that I had filmed for you guys to see as I was creating them. I had fun stamping all those not well, it was ink on a stencil with a makeup brush, but it was fun, makeup sponge. But it was fun to see all those colors like coming up, and I was like, oh, but I'm adding fall colors, and I'm planning to use flowers and maybe some butterflies, some birds. But yeah, it came together when I finally ended up selecting what I wanted to say on the page, and that title just came up as I was looking at it. I didn't. It's not a quote or anything. That's what I came to my mind when I was looking at it. And it kind of makes sense to me. It's kind of like a play on words, and I like to do that type of thing. And I keep forgetting to add my journaling part to the pages because you're so afraid of like ruining your beautiful page with your handwriting and stuff. But yeah, I ended up using some of that, even after some attempts of like stamping it out and writing it out and then combining them and then editing, and but I think it kind of worked out like the way I added them. I'm not like in love with the parts that I wrote, but it blends to the background and doesn't really distract too much, and the words that I really wanted to stand out do stand out. So yeah, so here I'm going back with more of the pen to just outline it out. And I forgot to share the stamp set that I had used to create the bloom and the fall words. So that's a Stampendos wood stamp set that I got at Michael's like a couple of years back. I by chance, the one time that I was able to go, they had them on sale, and I was able to get a few. The next time over that I went to Michael's on my next trip, nothing was like on sale on the wood stamps or anything like that, so I wasn't able to buy any stamps. But I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you want to keep up watching this series. Every Creates will be back with the next video as soon as I have one.